What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be doing a little shop my stash, creating this look that we see today. Definitely got some purple going on, cool tone lip. I will definitely try to make sure that I name and list everything I use along with shades. If there are some things that I can remember, I will leave them linked down in the description box for you guys. Also, the shop my stash portion, I had to do it on my phone because my battery on my camera was dead at the time, so bear with me if it looks a little different from this, from my actual filming, as far as those clips. Before we go and jump into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the shop my stash makeup look. All right, you guys, so I have a whole like bookshelf, if you will, in my room of palettes, but that is not all that I have. I'm telling you, I can't wait to move to be able to really do me like a beauty room or beauty section, like really revamp it. But for now, we are on the bookshelf. I decided to go with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Fall Romance eyeshadow palette. I don't feel like I've used this palette enough, maybe once or twice. Now, this is some of my foundations. This is not all of them, but I decided to go with Nars. Which one is this? The Nars foundation in the shade Syracuse. This is definitely an oldie but goodie. It's the Natural Radiant foundation. Then I went with the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. Off camera, I did get another concealer, which is by H&B Cosmetics. I felt like I needed something a little bit more brightening. And then I went with this Haus Labs concealer. And then I decided to pair it with this Givenchy, the Haus Labs blush, and then the Givenchy powder blush. For bronzer today, this is something I used to use a lot. This is the Huda Beauty foundation stick in the shade Chocolate Mousse. I used this as a cream bronzer. And then for powder bronzer today, we're going to go in with the Pat McGrath bronzer. I believe it is called something fetish, skin fetish. For powder bronzer, I did choose the Sephora collection highlighter that just came out this year. Those highlighters are something that I haven't touched or used in a while as well. So that is what I decided to go with. As far as to set the face, I chose to go with shade number 3 and number 2 from Charlotte Tilbury. So I also did the Huda Beauty Peach Pie press powder. Now what I'm going to do is set my under eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury number 2 press powder first, then do Peach Pie over top, and then shade number 3 is to set the rest of the face. I was going to go with Fenty, but this is definitely a little bit too dark for me right now, so I'm not going to use it. And that's pretty much what I grabbed for Shop My Stash. All right, so to start off, I'm going in with the P. Louise base in the shade 2.5. I feel like a pigmented base works best for me, especially with colored eyeshadow looks. You could get away with the translucent ones or the concealer if you're just doing like a neutral everyday eyeshadow look. But I just feel like if you really want those colors to pop and you want to really bring them out, you need an actual eyeshadow base that is pigmented the way that this one is. It almost gives you the same sense of a concealer. I don't know why I haven't had the best of luck with using concealer like some people do, but I am just going to blend that. We're going to do one eye on camera. So this is what the palette looks like. For the most part, I'm going to try to point to every shade that I use. To start off, I did take the shade Leather, which is like that taupey, cool tone shade. That's honestly really the only shade in this palette that I feel like you can use to kind of blend in your crease. Like that first initial crease color, base color. So we again went in with the shade Leather. Now, you guys, I'm going to be very honest. This video was chaotic. Hopefully it doesn't look like it. But the last time I did my makeup for, like, filmed it, I just kind of threw everything everywhere. So I legit could not find my remote to my camera. I was all over the place. So the first half of the video, I was like having to get up, press record, like press record and stop on the camera. It was chaotic. And I really didn't have the energy initially to film today, but I was like, you know what? Once a week, if you can do that, just try to commit to at least once a week posting a video. I feel like you will be just fine, and then obviously gradually bump it up from there, but I don't want to put too much on myself right now. Um, so the next color that I'm going to go in with you guys in the palette is called Twilight. And it's so funny that I'm going in with that. It looks like a ashy, greenish, gray color. The color story in this palette is definitely different from anything I feel like we've seen. It does kind of scare you, like it's a little hard to work with. But it's crazy because I literally I'm watching Twilight as I'm filming this, and is it just me? But if you've seen Twilight, I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fans of it. Some people were. Bella just irritated me. I don't know what it is. She just irritated me. It was like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like, girl, you want to turn into them so bad. Like, I think it was on the part like towards the end of the first one where she was like, he told her he was gonna like leave, like it was best for her to go live with her mom so he wouldn't, ruin her life, kind of thing. And she was like, don't say that to me, you can't leave me. It was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know. Every time I watch it, she irritates me, and I just feel like it's a comfort movie for some reason. um I have so many movies that can just play in the background and it's soothing for me. So I did go in the center of the eyes with Divine. I do feel like some of the deeper colors in this palette definitely came off a little patchy. So again, the middle of the eye I did Divine, and then I did Moonlight in that inner corner. But I am going to go back over it with the brush, try to clean up and fix up the patchiness. I feel like Anastasia Beverly Hills has really good quality pigmented eyeshadow palettes, but again, this just that those deeper tones on the outer corner of the eye did come off a little patchy to me. This is where she irritated me. But you guys, I have not filmed in a while, but how was your Thanksgiving? How was everybody's holiday? Ours was pretty good. I decided to go extra hard by working out earlier in the week. Last week was Thanksgiving last week, right? So I decided to go like extra hard that Monday on working out. When I tell you, I felt like my body was shutting down on Tuesday. And I was like, oh no, like I spent all Tuesday kind of laying around, laying in bed. Um, I slept on my lunch break because I'm like, I have to cook, and I don't want to, be walking around sore, knowing how much I had to cook and do. I was like, girl, you gotta get some rest and get yourself together. So I had to clean up that liquid liner drastically. This is the NYX Freezy primer. I forgot to show myself picking out a primer, but this is more of that like putty primer. Kind of reminds you of the one that Milani just came out with, Huda Beauty's Blur Jam. It kind of puts you in that mindset. It does have a cooling effect. I don't notice a difference with this one that it does anything special. And then for a gripping primer, I did go in with my She Glam gripping primer. I feel like that is a really good alternative. I know a lot of people are against She Glam makeup, but that one is a better alternative to me, up against like the Milk Hydro Grip than some of the other ones that we purchased. And I honestly forgot to put my lash on. Actually, I didn't forget. I put my lash on and it was lifting, so I took it off, had to reapply glue. So that is why on that clip I was missing a lash. But also, as far as the liquid eyeliner, that was the Rare Beauty liquid eyeliner. That one, I feel like it's a little bit too liquidy, like too watery. I prefer the one size liquid eyeliner, but I just felt like once I started to like clean up that outer corner and wipe it, it smeared, it got messy. So um again, I prefer the one size, and it is a little bit cheaper from what I noticed. But as you can see here, I am just mixing the blue pigment with the Nars Syracuse. So Syracuse shade is a little bit more warmer. Um, Obviously, I am more neutral tone. I feel like, in a sense, I feel like did I change? Like, did my skin change or something like that? Because unless I had like that, what do they call it? It's like you're blind to it in a sense. It's something on TikTok that they were saying. But I felt like for so long, I think with being tan or being, medium to tan skin tone, you just kind of automatically assume like I'm a warm undertone. Girl, no, you're not. You're neutral. And I definitely could have changed over time, obviously from my 20s till now, but um I did mix the blue pigment by LA Girl, which again neutralizes your foundation. I also have the white one, which will brighten your foundation if it is too dark, but I don't use that one as much as I do the blue one. And then I do feel like with the concealers, it's going to kind of help brighten it up, the foundation just a little bit. If it does look a little bit too warm or, a little bit too dark for me. So I kind of use that concealer as that help to lighten myself up a little bit if my foundation runs too dark. Um, but I typically, you know, usually I'm the type of person, and I have so many foundations, because if a foundation is not the right color or it's too dark, I'll go out and buy another shade. And, I have so many doubles of a foundation. So I'm trying to cut back on doing that and utilizing the blue pigment, because that is honestly what it's for. And I think it's no more than $10. And it doesn't alter the finish of your foundation, but it definitely helps with the color matching. So I definitely recommend that. They do have a yellow shade, and I think orange, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely check out Ulta or LA Girl's website, to see what works best for you. All right, you guys. So as you can see, cream bronzing. This is definitely very warm, but this is the Huda Beauty foundation stick in the shade Chocolate Mousse. And then now I'm going in first with concealer. This is the shade 50 WY in the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. So I'm going to place that down first. Then I'm going to go ahead and apply my cream blush. So the cream blush that I am using, it is pretty much a blush stick. It is by Haus Labs, and let me actually give you the exact name of this one. I think I have 3 shades of this, but this is called Glassy Rosette, which is a more rosy tone. I felt like it went nicely with the eye look. These are definitely buildable. I don't feel like you need too much of this like blush stick. It does give you that glossy skin, like that dewy glossy skin finish. So I place that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend out this concealer with a brush. Now, also, I did mention to you guys that I did go ahead and grab another concealer because I felt like I needed something just a little bit more brightening. And it is from HNB Cosmetics. The shade is SF3W. So the thing with HNB Cosmetics, I have their concealer, I have their bronzer. I did try to purchase their foundations. The only thing I don't like with this UK brand is it takes forever for you to get the products. Like, it is worse than ordering from Beauty Bay. Like, I feel like Beauty Bay, give it a good 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have your product. When I tell you the stuff from H&B was stuck at like customs for the longest. Like, I even reached out to them. I was like, I still have not gotten my package. And they were like, well, it's shipped. Like, that's all they had for me. It takes forever. By the time you get your stuff from H&B Cosmetics, your box is banged up. I'm just being honest. I wish it was a little bit quicker, or at least I wish that they would, you know, go on Beauty Bay so that it would be easier to get their products. But that's the only downside. And then when you're ordering from UK, it's really not, you know, I just look at it like you can't return, you can't exchange, like how we can do just ordering off of Ulta or Sephora. So I did order 2 shades from their foundation, and they were way too light, like way too light. So I had to count it as a loss. But that's the only downside with H&B. The concealer is bomb. Their powder bronzer is bomb. But that's honestly really all I have. I do have their loose setting powder for under the eyes. It's beautiful. My makeup stays in place. Very brightening, but that's really all I have from the brand. Y'all, my nose is running, okay? But anywho, I did go on the under eyes with Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder in the shade number 2. Then I went over top with Huda Beauty Peach Pie loose powder. Is it just me, or Huda Beauty's powder is not what everybody makes it? Let me know in the comments. It could just be me. I don't know. But I just feel like her loose powder, it's like, it's good. I'm not knocking it. But I feel like there are some other powders out there that beats it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments though. It is so satisfying to see how I hit pan on this one. And I already have a backup of the Charlotte Tilbury. So this is her pressed powder in shade number 3. I use shade number 3 to set the perimeter of my face, like where I place that cream or liquid bronzer and blush. So that is what I use this to set. And like I said, I already have a backup. I have so many backups of certain products, so it doesn't make sense for me when it comes to like the Sephora sales and stuff. Like, I don't need to necessarily purchase backups because I've already done that, which is insane. Y'all, I used to be so bad with makeup. So bad. Now, this is the Pat McGrath powder bronzer. This is their her Skin Fetish Divine powder bronzer, and I have mine in the shade Bronze Nirvana. So that is what I use. It does look a little bit more cool tone on camera than it actually shows up on the skin. Honestly, I didn't feel like I needed any more, but it's fine. And then this is the Armani blush. I said Givenchy in the beginning of the video. I'm sorry. But this is the Armani blush. Now, I really didn't want anything too pink, but I felt like it didn't look too bad. But this is in the shade number 52, which is Ecstasy. It is a cool baby pink. These were $39 each, and they are small. I have 3 of these. So I'm like, girl, if you don't pick this up and use it, because, whew, $39 for one small blush is insane. It's okay. We're going to use this makeup up, y'all. We're going to use it. And I'm going to take the Juvia's Place setting spray to spray down the face before I go in with highlighter. You guys know, if you've been watching me long enough, I typically only put highlighter on the bridge of the nose and do like the Cupid's bow. So that is pretty much where I place my highlighter. And if I can find it in time, these are only $14. Mind you, this is in the shade number 5, which is Iced Pearl. It's more of a golden champagne tone. Again, $14. There are 6 shades of this, so you can't go wrong with a lot of Sephora collection products. I think that they work very well, and obviously very affordable. All right, you guys, this concludes today's makeup look for the lip liner, the Rimmel long-lasting or lasting finish lip liner in the shade Cappuccino. I think I got this off of Amazon. If I could find it, I will definitely leave it down below. That lip liner is more of like a cool tone lip liner. It reminds me of that shade from Makeup Forever that everybody was going crazy about earlier this year on TikTok. So I will definitely link it down below. We know Rimmel is a lot more affordable than Makeup Forever. And then this is the Sephora collection Lacquer Shine. So it's like a high shine lipstick in the shade number 15, which is more of a cool tone as well. I love these because you don't need a gloss for it necessarily. So I would definitely link those down below. In regards to my Nars foundation, I'm glad that I pulled this out to use it. It has been staring at me. And I just mix it with my blue LA Girl pigment because this is a little bit more warm. So definitely mixing that before I replace it, because that's something that I have to kind of stop myself from doing, buying double foundations and just working with my pro mixing pigment. The Huda Beauty foundation stick in chocolate mousse was definitely something I used more in the summertime as a cream bronzer. As you can see, it was definitely very too warm, but luckily the powders and the concealers definitely helped mesh those together. There's one product that I used today I did not show on camera. I typically don't do my brows on camera, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. This is in the tube. This, I honestly feel like I am going to go ahead and declutter. I just don't feel like it does much for the brows, or honestly, the brows are in place, but I think you have to apply so much just to get that brow freeze, like that laminated brow freeze, that some products you don't have to use as much to get that look. So with this one, I mean, again, the brows are in place. They feel hard but not crunchy, but I feel like I had to use a lot of it in order to get that effect. So I'm not the biggest fan of that one. I don't know, maybe I'll hold on to it for a little bit longer, but it is definitely not a go-to. But let me know what videos you guys want to see coming up. Sephora is going to have a 20% off sale on all products coming up. I think it ends December, it starts December 6th, ends December 15th. So you get 20% off all of their products and then 30% off all Sephora collection, but it is a one-time code use. You cannot use it every day throughout you know, those dates. So if you have some things you want to pick up, even some Christmas gifts from Sephora, I would definitely take advantage of that additional 20% off, you guys. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.